beings. Welcome. Welcome, human beings, to this live. Yeah, welcome. I'm here because I have a message to share you, or share with you. It's very intriguing because I've been able to learn what I want to learn. And recently, I've read a book. I read a book recently called, no, I've started reading a book recently called The Boy Crisis. And while reading that book, I have learned a couple of things. And it has switched my perception on what I want to do and changed my perspective on a few things. So, what it has changed my perspective on is quite interesting, and I will show you, and we will develop that over the course of the next. I will tell you the basis, and we'll explore how that works over the course of the time. You know what I mean? I actually like this. I've been in a summer break for a while. It's been quite intriguing, quite nice, but it's also been kind of sad because I'm lazy and I don't talk to people. So, though I've been doing some personal growth and doing stuff like that, I'm not talking to anyone, so I'm kind of lonely. Besides my family, because I'm talking to my family. My family is like super cool, like I know why. And I'm supposed to be doing something else. Like this is weird. I don't know why that's not happening. Why am I not able to? This is not working. So I'm just gonna do the full device thing. Let's try this again. So it's called display capture. Yes. Oh no, my secrets are being revealed. And I'm going to crop. No, I can't crop that way. I can't. Oh yes, I remember. I remember. You go into properties, and you can't do it that way either. But filters, yes, filters. And then you go over here, shrink this window. I'm giving you advice, very intriguing advice. Okay, right. Watch. A crop/pad, and if you press that, you can now crop the thing and to the left, but I don't want it to crop to the left, so I want it to be full on this side. No, don't start cropping that, and then crop at the bottom so that it removes that. Almost there, and finally, yes, and get rid of the top as well, because top is annoying as well. Let's get rid of that. Why isn't it getting rid of it? Why isn't it getting rid of it? Why isn't it getting rid of it? It's just going smaller. Why isn't it getting rid of it? Oh, okay, let me try going this way, and then it'll go the other way. Ah, I see. I don't even know what this voice is anymore. Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, like I don't even know. Yes, but now, yeah, I've got that done, and now I can make this above here, and we can get on with our normal programming, and stop being trippy and move on to ClickUp. My favorite app is just amazing. It's just so cool. And how am I going to make this make sense? If I can't. I can't put a dual screen because you're seeing everything now. But we'll just hope that that everything works. So we have this cool thing. They added this new feature called this whiteboard mode, and I haven't done anything because I wanted to stream and just press the button because I've been pushing this off since since the morning, and finally haven't started this. Let's start the music as well. But yeah, we're here. So, I've been developing something over the past few days. Let me switch to my talking thing so that I can crop this out as a... Let's try it again. That works. Let's try it on the other side. I think I forgot a setting. Deactivate? Activate. Okay, there we go. We're back. So, on this side, I just love this song so much. Let me quickly like it. No, I already have it liked. See, see, I wasn't lying. Oh yeah, you can't see it, but yeah, it's an amazing song. Not gonna lie, but yeah. I've been reading a book called The Boy Crisis by Warren Farrell and John something. I've forgotten the other guy's name, but I haven't gotten to his part yet, so it's not even it's not even that big of a deal. And I've read about 200 pages of it at the moment. And I'm gonna reduce the volume because it's annoying me. Not for you guys. No, it reduces it for you as well, I think. Does it? Yeah, it does. It's not isolated. That's so sad. So I can... Wait, yeah, that works. Okay, but now, the thing is, so this guy, no, this is too foreground. The songs are too foreground. And I'm going to increase this one's and then increase. Yeah, there we go. That's better audio-wise for me. Only for me, because, and you lose most of the audio because my computer is so weird, it doesn't match the desktop audio thing. But I've been reading the book, right? And it's been quite interesting, and I'm very grateful to be back here. I haven't done this in a while, and it's good to be talking to myself again. But I've been reading this book. It's been quite intriguing because it has all this data and all these numbers and all these stuff talking about how boys and struggle and do all these different things, and it's changed me in a bit. I'm no longer... up until a few days ago, my sole goal was to be rich and famous and be a Christian. So it was a valiant goal. At the same time, it wasn't, because, you know, rich and famous is quite big, and also it's a quite challenging thing to do, because you have to have the drive for it. You have to have the circumstances that provide it, and I'm pretty sure I have that. The second one down, because like I'm in a metal home. I have the advantage of being black at the moment, because that's it seems like I'm going against something, but if you look at it correctly, I have good advantages because people are willing to show that they're not racist. To my benefit, and maybe to the disbenefit of someone else, but that's something else that I can campaign for later. But besides that, I have that as those two things, but the question is, will I have... I don't know if it's an if. That's the question. So it's like, it's always been okay, I want to do this. Is it a will, or is it I want, you know? Is it... Because like I say that it's a will. I will be rich and famous, but is it a will? Or am I being too ambitious? And then the thing about the thing. But the next goal, the goal that I now have, is also quite ambitious, but it has more clear goals directly. So like I'm pumping up the suspense for a while, but I'm trying to understand. So, but if you've read the book, you know how this works. But in The Boy Crisis, he outlines a bit of, at least the parts that I've been to. I've not read the whole book, but he's outlined what he will talk about in the book anyways, about how boys in the US primarily, but he did do a study of Canada, US and Canada, and also just like Western culture, because he like gives references to Japan and how they have created a word for being overworked. And my computer is messing up, like I'm not even joking. Like I don't know. It's like I'm not dropping frames directly, but it's just saying that like I'll just try and quit some stuff so that it's not like that, because I'm looking at myself and I'm like, this is not looking so good. So I'm gonna turn that off at the moment. Just a second. I don't need Microsoft Edge, and that's it. Yeah. It's just my computer at this point, so I'm just gonna try and chill. So boys are struggling, like things are not going well. I've noticed it in the sense I don't like saying that I've noticed struggle because it makes it seem like, whoa, are you forgetting women's struggles, or are you forgetting the LGBT struggles? But like, maybe all people are struggling in some way or form, because it's easy to find. Because like, I am not rich, like completely rich, and it's easy to construe as and put it as, wait, it's the white people that are telling me that I can't succeed. But it's not, because I previously had a goal of being rich and famous. So if I'm not rich and famous, that goal should not exist because the white people told me not to. Or it should be way more suppressed. But because I'm changing it, you could say it's the white people that are changing my mind. Good point, but you're wrong. But I like doing that. I like just finding holes in my own speech because it's cool. Because if you do, you get stronger arguments, and it's cool doing that. And my dad does that to me all the time, so I picked it up because it's cool to just be like, but what if? But what if? But if you do what if too, but there's a problem with saying what if all the time, because if you keep saying what if every single time, you don't do anything, you're just saying what if, and you get stuck. But that's also a problem with saying what ifs, but when you're talking, it most likely works because you're just saying what ifs over and over. But I'm getting off topic. I ramble too much. I know that. That's something that I have to get in control. But I'm not stopping for like the ums and stuff. That's an achievement that I've made that I'm not even, that I don't attribute, that I consciously did, but I didn't do it through practice. So what I did was, see, there I could have done like 3 ums and uhs there, but I've learned the skill of stopping, because if you stop and recollect your thoughts, you get that extra not see, I made a mistake there, but scratch that, not extra, you get the, how do you say this, you get the feel that, or you just get rid of the us. So if you get rid of the ums and the uhs, you get rid of the, it doesn't mean that you think faster, but it just means that you don't have that ums and ahs, or what does that mean, or how do I say this? And that stops people from thinking that you don't know what to say, but just that you find ways to recollect it and ponder on what you're thinking. So it makes it less like, oh, he's just saying whatever comes to his mind, but more like, sorry, that was not what I meant to say, It's a different mindset. So that's cool, I guess. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about my new goal, the goal that I have for my existence. And it has stayed the same. To follow Jesus, bro. Yeah, but there's a one that is directly under that, and through the reading of this book, The Boy Crisis, I've discovered that I want to be the best dad that I can ever be, which is a cool goal. It's a cool goal because it's just cool. But the thing I wanted to go through is a cool thing. So, let's look at this. Look, we're going to start at me. Start 16-year-old boy. That's not how you say 16. I'm not 16, though. I'm 15. I want to be 16. I'm 15-year-old. I'm a 16. So now, I've started. So, I'm going to just leave it as start. So, the action that I've made is to contemplate. Contemplate and read The Boy Crisis. Sis. And then that's not correct. And yep. And read The Boy Crisis, not the Crisis. And the decision that I've made from that is to become the best dad. Dad imaginable. No, past possible. So, the question is, how do I go about this? Let's make a SMART goal, you know? And if anyone knows what SMART is, it means it must be simple, manageable, actionable, reasonable, and have a time limit. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Smart, simple, manageable, achievable. No. Actionable. Yeah, actionable, and then has a reasonable, I think. No, not reasonable. Reasons? Yeah, reasons or something like that. And then a time limit. Yeah. So it can have that kind of thing. So I want to become the best dad possible. And there's different ways to do this. So there's one way, there's so many different ways, but let's rudimentarily do this. So I don't know. So let's see what I want to do. So let me switch to the other scene. So we're in the scene. Oh, I need to deactivate, activate. I need to switch to the setting on this. Where's the properties of this thing? Okay, we got it. We've set it up so that I'll not have to deactivate and activate it over and over. So, and also look at how fresh this guy looking. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, his face hasn't changed that much. His hair, I don't know how much my hair was the last time we did a stream, but I'm pretty sure it's taller than it used to be. I didn't do any like trimming or anything, so it's quite rough. But I'm still I'm quite fine. Not gonna lie. Also, that nose, it I underestimate its power. Yeah, it's quite changing of the face. Like, if my nose was smaller, it'd be a different face on completely. But like, that's besides the point. So we've made this decision. We want to become. Let's see. I want to see how that looks actually on camera. How does that look? So you're doing this, and I'm going to zoom in. Yeah, there we go. That's better. If we can zoom it in, that's better. Okay, we zoomed it in. So I made this decision to become the best dad ever possible, and it's a cool decision. It's an amazing decision, because because the way that he's portrayed things is the reason why I want to do this is because let's add a thing to signify that. I'm gonna remove the connection thing. Right? So we're gonna delete this, duplicate this one, so that we can. So it's not connected as like a separate decision, but it's a reasoning for the decision. You know. So we can put reason. Reason? Because I don't want that. But because I want to help the world. Because look. Because I want to help the world. Help world. And I like doing this visual stuff because it's cool, because I have the video, but I also have the process of making it. So I can use both as NFTs. So that's cool. I can sell both, you know? That's what I'm gonna do at the end. Like, it's just gonna be cool. Like, I'm gonna have this tool thing that like people are just like, I want to sell me this thing, and I'll give you it. Or maybe I'll make like a document, and then I'll share the link to the ClickUp page, ClickUp team, and then you'll be like, oh, there we go. Then I'll put it under like a paywall or something like that. Because I want to help the world. But that's kind of vague, right? It's kind of vague, but it's not. The reason why it's not vague is we're saying reason continued. Reason continued, because this is the complex thought. Reason continued. Contid. Reason contid. That's not what contid is, bro. Contid. There you go. We're back. We're good. We Gucci. Reason. So if you okay. Reason. So I want to help the world, but I also want to okay, just making sure that this is all working well. Okay, just make I have doubts sometimes, you know? I have doubts. Because I have, but yeah, no. But it's the reason why I want to help. I say that that's to help the world is because if you bring people, if people are brought into the world, I'm gonna make this big so that we can type a lot of stuff inside. So if people are brought into the world, so I'm gonna just scroll in. It's still not gonna be enough. If people are brought into the world correctly and are raised correctly, you have people that will grow up to be people that help the world. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I like explaining it because it's cool and I like talking. But if people that are brought into the world correctly, and I know it's weird saying that, but the way that I mean correctly is like I'll outline that in a second. So I have the decision. The decision is to become the best bad possible, and because I want to help the world. So let's look at we're gonna look at the things that so there's two things that I have to do. So there's the premarital parts. I've already spoiled something. There's premarital situation. Okay. So there's going to be stuff that happens in between that. I'm going to put at least 2 options. No, not 2 options. I don't need options there. I just need a path. A straightforward path. So let's make it so that it's a straight line. And okay, so premarital situation, and they're gonna be. Oh yeah, there we go. They're not gonna be paths, but they have different steps inside them. So we have the premarital situation, characterized by the red. So the premarital situation, that's any time between me and getting married. And I need to get married because I'm contemplating, if I do not get married, it is stated that I, as a person, have a 40%. Wait, I need to get these facts right. Let me just give me a sec. I'm back. As an unmarried person, let me get to the page. I don't have the bookmark, but I'll get there. Don't worry. As a person, wait for it. Wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm reading from page 124, and it says, but it is crucial to let your son know that when unmarried couples live together, when their child is born, by the child's third birthday, 40% of those children will have no regular contact with their dad for the next 2 years, between 3 and 5. Bro, that's a huge thing. I'm already pro marriage because I'm a Christian, and marriage is like such a cool concept. I don't know why, but if I want to eliminate that 40% risk, I better get married. and the thing is, getting married is quite cool. But then look at how the births in the U.S. of for black people, so African Americans. So this is only African Americans. 70% of births happen outside of wedlock, and most of these people don't have fathers in their lives, and these things cause. Let me show you what kind of things it changes. So it's outlined. This thing is outlined in Appendix B. Let me go to Appendix B, and we'll just read out what he says for the. Let me see. Where is this Appendix B? There it is. We're gonna read just a few. Children with father loss have, by the age of 9, a 40% reduction in telomere life, the most reliable predictors of life expectancy. In addition, telomere loss is 40% greater for boys than for girls. Number 2. A study of ISIS fighters concluded that almost all male and female fighters had in common some type of absent father syndrome. So ISIS, if you don't know ISIS, it's the militant Muslim extremist group that has done some severe stuff. Let me check, dude. Let me. Not directly. I was thinking they caused ISIS. No, they didn't. Okay, they didn't cause ISIS, but they're the ones that are more common. And in Nigeria, their sect is called, not sect, their chapter, and how weird that is called the Boko Haram, and they are a militant group that literally stole 200 kids, and they were missing for years, and until they were retrieved quite recent. And wait, did they even get retrieved? Let me see if let me check that. I have another computer on the other side. That's why I'm going to the other side. Did the 200 kids get returned? No, not that. I don't want. I want Nigeria. Because I'm getting residential schools. Which is quite sad too, but it's not directly what I'm talking about here. Bro, they're still there. They're still gone. They're still gone, bro. Ay. The 200 are still missing. No, yeah, the Chibok girls. No, they're. Yeah, are they back? Uh huh. Nope, they were gone for 2 years. Yeah, they were held by. Yeah, they were held. Um. Oh. Oh. Wow. They're still missing. 109 of so 276 girls were kidnapped in 2016 in Nigeria from the school of Chibok or from a no from the city of Chibok, and they 57 escaped, 7 were found, 103 were released, and 109 are still missing to this day. Quite sad. Like, and this is a thing that was published just the 17th of April, and 109, we don't know if they're still alive at this point, and they're just not here anymore. But that's a sect of ISIS, and in a study of ISIS fighters concluded that almost all male and female fighters had what that almost all male, female, and female fighters had in common some type of absent father syndrome. Then another one, we'll skip to number 6. Father involvement is at least 5 times as important in preventing drug use than closeness to parental rules, parent trust, strictness, or a child's gender, ethnicity, or class or social class. Number 8, living in a home without a dad has a greater correlation with suicide among teenagers than any other factor. Number 11, when dad has positive contact with children during the first 2 years, children have fewer signs of unwanted and uncontrolled behavior. Number 13, worldwide, the amount of time a father spends with a child is one of the strongest predictors of the child's ability to empathize as he gets older. Number 17, father absence predicts the profile of both the bully and the bullied, poor self-esteem, poor grades, and poor social skills. Even within the first few months of after separations, shared parent time results in less sibling rivalry and fewer negative attitudes toward the parents. 28. Children who were born and raised by both married parents had an 80% chance of moving to the middle class or above. Conversely, children who were born into the middle class and raised without a married dad were almost 4 times likely to end up considerably poorer. So I've read a few of those examples, and I haven't read the Appendix B at this point because I'm still only at page 180 something or something like that. Let me check exactly where I am. I am... Let me see. No, not 180 something. I'm at I'm too far. Oh yeah, 156-ish. Yeah, 156. Yeah, I'm at 156. So and Appendix B is all the way at the end, and I've come to this conclusion from not even getting that far into this book, talking about how the decision to be the best dad ever, and the best dad that I can be in a response to what I've seen. And the cool thing is that my dad is a great dad. He's the best dad I could ask for, besides my heavenly father, which is even better, which is very intriguing because my dad, who is a pastor, is constantly and makes it clear that he is following Jesus, and Jesus is a perfect example to follow if you want to be a good father. So that's one of the things that I have as one thing that I have to do, so that I'm surely gonna do in my goal is to complete high school. So I have to complete high school, and I have 2 years left. I have 2 years left of high school, and that's set and done. So I'm now added a new thing over here. So we have grade 11 and grade 12. I can't really go into deep with grade 12 because I can't go far into that one because I don't know what's is there, because a lot of things can happen, and I can do a lot of the things that I'm thinking about right now in grade 11 and not wait till grade 12, because the only thing that I have to do in grade 12 is get out of school, like finish everything out. So I'm first to finish grade 11. What I'm gonna do is keep my good grades. So I need to keep good grades. So why? Because if you keep good grades, you have a good response to. But I don't need to have good grades, and yeah, you can help that out. So keep good grades. Good grades. Grades. And I think we should add some more color to this. This is getting a bit boring. You know what I mean? Let's add some yellow. We already have yellow. Let's add some green. I love green. Green's cool. Green's cool, bro. So we're gonna add some green. And green means good anyway, so we gotta keep good grades. And if we're gonna keep good grades, we need to do some other stuff. We're gonna seek some advice. So, one thing that I feel like I'm gonna do. So, keep good grades. Oh yeah, do good. Keep doing sports. Doing sports. I don't know. The thing about sports is that I know 2 sports that I'm going to do, but I don't know about the rest, you know? So I want to do soccer, but I don't know if I've gotten to the point that I can't do that anymore. But we'll see what happens to that one. So for the sports that I have already, I have track and cross country. Cross country. And then, so I have to keep good grades, keep doing sports, ask advice from teachers, and so I'm going to, should I name? No, I should leave them on just for now. If you go to my school and meet them. They're amazing. Like, not gonna lie. Like, there's some people that like don't like my teachers, and I'm like, no, why? How do you not like my teachers? My teachers are so, like, they're elite. like I'm not even joking. Like, it's just amazing. My teachers, God bless them. Like, they're so great. So I have to ask advice from my teachers. What kind of advice? Dad advice, of course, because they're the teachers that I'm talking to are talking to dads. I'm talking to dads because dads are cool, and I want to be and that's the point. I need to become the best dad ever, and if I want to be the best dad ever, I have to take advice from teachers. And also, let's add something to make sure that you know what I'm doing the entire time. So the entire time, I am serving God. Serving God. Because I don't know for everyone else what you want to do, but serving God above all is just it's such a good thing to do, because you have this thing. So you have a set of goals, a set of rules, and set of principles, that you will follow regardless. But the thing is, God in Christianity, it's not just a God of principles and nothing else. Because if you go into the Bible, you have section when Jesus appears on the scene, he can be characterized and is usually is characterized even to points that is not correct, that he's a rule breaker. He's against the institution, bro. He's going against the rules, but he's not going against the rules. But he has this extra part where it is being revealed to the people, which is actually you could still see in the other parts, but it's less apparent because it's less human. It's not less focused on individuals in the Old Testament. It's more on others, and because the Old Testament was focused on the story of the Hebrew people at most points, and except for the parts before the Israel. So like for Israel, the founder, the person, and to Isaac and until Noah and Adam and Cain and Abel, that kind of thing. But those people were focused on directly, and then from then on, it's more of God speaking to or dealing with the Israelite people as a group, or the people that He has promised through. So like He does talk to people. So let me scratch. He doesn't talk to people in the Old Testament, but like it's not as focused on the individual movements of God, because it's the individual movements of people and what God does because of that. But instead of in the New Testament, it's God's movements and what God does and what people are supposed to do in response to that. So it's cool in that sense. And then Jesus shows up on the scene and he exposes this cool thing called the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit, like the Father, has the principles and follows the rules that He has set out for the Israelites and for all humans to follow. So like the 10 Commandments: do not murder, do not lie, do not use the Lord's name in vain, and do not lust, do not covet your or one another, or all these different things. And he abides by all these things and tells people to by all these things. But he also is the wild card in a sense, because Jesus describes him as as uses an analogy for that is used. He uses wind as an analogy. Analogy. I don't know which pronunciation. I know that one well because it's pronounce and pronunciation. I think that's how it is. Yeah, because pronounce doesn't sound good. pronounce, but pronunciation it doesn't sound good either. So pronunciation and pronounce. That's the word of that's. If you're gonna learn anything, learn not that, but if you learned that as well, that's good. But let me get rid of this. There's a person inside the other picture that is just like staring me down from the article that I was reading. So they're just like. While it was endearing for a bit, it's not so helpful, especially with me and my helter-skelter brain, just running from place to place. But yeah, the Holy Spirit is used as an analogy for wind. So wind passing by, and you don't know where it comes from, you don't know where it's going. You just feel the effects. So that's the chaotic element of the Trinity. And Christ is the perfect amalgamation of the two, creating the fusion of order, usually portrayed through the Father. Well, even though the Father's actions can be seen as chaotic or maybe catastrophic is a better word, but not really chaotic. But order, and like he's attributed as like the person that created the world, the one that spoke. And then we have the Holy Spirit that is wading across the water, flowing between the chaos and the place where the portions where there is no meaning, any shape, or the void, through the void. And though the Spirit had been mentioned, it was barely utilized by the writers of the Old Testament, but it takes almost center stage in the New Testament. But the Trinity mindset is more amplified in the New Testament. But like I was saying, Jesus is a rule breaker, but he's also this amazing paragon of the order that God has created. besides the ports that are overused, because like he says that he's the Lord of the Sabbath, because if and tells brings out the exceptions in a sense, like if your lamb fell into a ditch on the Sabbath, would you not pick it up? Asking the Pharisees. The Pharisees wouldn't answer because they when they know what they would answer, and it's not helpful to their argument, which is a cool way to do stuff, because if you want to stump people, just ask them a question that if they answer, it shows the lie, you know? It's cool. It's a cool tactic because it forces them to think, and usually it's easy to think it through and get to the portion that they get to, if they get, because the Pharisees won't answer it because they don't want to make themselves look bad, but another person might answer it and find out that reasonably come to the conclusion that their thoughts were not completely in the right at the moment. So, but following God and the cool thing is that Christ and the servitude of Christ is one of the most fulfilling things that you can do in the entire world. It's so laid out. It's so crystal clear in a sense, and it's so fun because like you say, and then I'm stealing a Jordan Peterson quote, even though Jordan Peterson has been a bit iffy in the past few days, but one thing that he took from him, he was like, if you're gonna forget religion and create your own meaning, good luck with that. Like good luck with that. And basically saying that if you want to do it, but it's gonna be a hard thing, because like these ones with the writings of these people creating such a value system that is, in my opinion, wholeless, like that doesn't have any stops to it, and though impossible on its own to be done by yourself, guarantees help and guarantees a brotherhood that is so strong and so great, and a sisterhood that is so amazing that it's just such a great thing that you can follow God, and it'll help you in everything. It'll help you be a good husband or wife, be a good mother or father, be a good son or daughter, or be a good employee or employer, you know? Just be any of these things and execute them correctly if you understand the things that God has given to you. Though some of the things will be things that you have to think through yourself and like come to conclusions based on your situation and get revelation from God on how to effectively use the principles that have been laid out, because they don't have how to post on YouTube that is in a godly way. But it does have ways of saying don't use words that you don't want to use, you know? And don't any empty word that you say will be accounted for, you know? And making sure you do the things those kind of things. But it's just I just love the idea of serving God. It's just such a great idea. So that's one of that's a principle. It's just going to be something that I'm going to use for the end of time. Like till the end of time, I'm serving God. Like it's just, and even beyond, because in Christianity we believe that after the end of time there's a rebirth and a recreation, which is quite interesting, because like I don't know, we'll see how Revelation plays out if we're an interplanetary society. You know, it's gonna be interesting. So throughout this entire time, in all situations and statuses, I will be. Let me see if I can line this up perfectly on top of this serving God one. On top of this red, the other red one. I can't make the center, like the center aligned. Or maybe I can. No, I can't. Let me control Z. Okay, there you go. So, I have serving God. Serving God has to be is number one. So even above this decision is serving God. Like it's something that I came to because I serve God. And because like even the thing that are in this book, that is a huge book. Like I'm not even lie to you. This thing is huge. It has several. Let me see how many pages it has. It's actually well. I thought it would be more than that, but it's only 492 pages in its totality. But the book itself ends at page. That's Appendix A. Okay, I thought. Okay. 397. Yep. And technically the Appendix A works. Continues inside. So I will say, yeah, to 400 pages of the book itself. With the other stuff, the Appendix B mostly being in throughout the book, so it doesn't even matter. And the Appendix B is mostly just reasons why you should be a good dad, or reasons why not being a good dad is just terrible. Or, yeah, that kind of thing. So, in this 400-page book, all the things that are in this book, I can find in the Bible to some extent. It's just the data backs it up so greatly. And it's so cool. And the advice is quite recent. It's quite recent, and it's cool to have that kind of stuff. But, how much time do I have? I don't have much time. I don't have much time, not gonna lie. So, I'm gonna let's finish the last part of the grade 11 thing. So, also, throughout this time, I'll continue updating you guys. So, continue work. Let's continue work, I work a little bit, and I'll continue doing that and update you on other stuff. I wanted to get into the dilemma of talking about if I still should be rich and famous, but I'll get into that in the next stream, because that's a cool thing. Because I want to know. Because if you go, let me give a summary, little bit of what I've been thinking on that topic. So, if I become rich and famous, the work that it takes to become rich and famous is quite huge. The thing I've been learning is that you have up until you have a child, and then you have to make the decision: are you gonna stay with the child, or are you not gonna stay with the child? And I want to stay with the child. So if I want to stay with the child, is it sustainable to still be rich and famous? There is a story in here that could say that if I became moderately famous, I could still maintain being a person that is an active father. But the thing about that is that it's a complicated thing. But if you look at it the right way, being rich and famous in today's society is less hard than it was before. Because to be rich and famous in prior years, you had to be a speaker, not public speaker. Public speaker is kind of a new thing. A TV personality, so some kind of show host or something like that. An actor, or some kind of musician. And then if you want to have notoriety but not really popularity, you be a politician. You can have a lot of success like Trump did with his stuff, but that's still quite recent with social media and stuff like that. But if you want to be a popular person, you have to do the arts in the ways those ways. And I don't want to be an actor anymore. I had a little bit of a thing to be about being an actor, not something that I want to do. It's too much at the whims of auditions and stuff that I don't want to do. Um, Being a musician, though it's something that I want to pursue, I don't like it as a main career. It's too unflexible. It's too, what's it called? It's too of a hit of miss, even in this culture that is a bit less. But in recent years, there's an extra category that you have the introduction of the public speaker, or the non-art based uh, public personality. So like so just somebody that is an intellectual beast, or someone that is great at making money, like an author, or a person that, though authors had lots of popularity, not until like J.K. Rowling, it's not that big of it, or like someone, or the Lord of the Rings guy, what's it called, George R. Martin or something like that. Lord of the Rings, no, not Lord of the Rings. Why did I say Lord of the Rings? I mean Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. But no, I don't want season. I don't want the season. Book. It is made by George R. Martin. And those guys, these two people are now people that are like have notoriety for being authors, and like people that have these huge followings in a sense, just because they were able to create these masterpieces. Though others would have their ones see their like their shows up and like their bits of fame. So like C.S. Lewis would be able to show up, but he's talking about like Christianity and stuff like that on like some road on like BBC and stuff like that. But then that's not on the TV every single day, or like J.K. Rowling getting movies over movies and all these different things over and over. But in recent times, you're able to now be such a influential person without being specifically tied to something like acting or a musician that is still, though the others are still hit and miss, because there's thousands of people that are talking about things that either haven't reached it or will never reach the notoriety that like a Jordan Peterson will make, or Sam Harris will get, or Richard Dawkins will get. Though Richard Dawkins, that guy's rich without being... No, but he's an intellectual guy and he's an atheist, so he was able to get stuff like that. And is a scientist somehow. Yeah, he's a scientist. Yeah, he's done some scientific stuff. Though I disagree with a lot of his his things about God and stuff, because no, I don't believe that. But besides that, in the sense of being a famous person, it's not that hard that way. Rich, on the other hand, is still extremely hard work. It's still a hard business to go gamble, but once you get famous, you're most likely getting there to being rich. So, or you're already rich. Because riches buy fame, but you can get fame to get rich. That's what I've explored recently. So, but the question is, can I do that sustainably and still have a child? Or can I do that before I get the child and still maintain it to a certain degree without the money disappearing? Or do I get to a certain point, or do I grind nonstop until I have a child and then just move on? Like, pull a John Lennon and hope I don't die. Because in this book, he talks about John Lennon, and he stops being John Lennon and focuses on his second child, not his first child. His first child doesn't get as much love as he's supposed to, and the second child gets the love that he needs. And granted, he's secure, so he can do whatever he wants. So he stops being the musician and becomes the dad, and then dies. So that's kind of sad. But besides that, that's the question. It's a deep thing that I have to think about, and we'll explore a little bit more next week. I think, yeah, we'll do that next week. And so let's go over what we did today. So let me switch over to this again. So I told you why I got to this point. Told you the decision, gave you the reason, and the reason continued. Gave an outline of what the first thing is, the first position that I have to do, premarital situation. So premarital, let me just change the spelling there. I was wondering, why does that seem so wrong? Premarital situation. I feel bad for anyone that's watching this in like 10 years from now, and they're like, why, bro? Why? Like, oh, this will be intriguing, because like people will be like, oh, this guy was so smart and back in those days, and like, oh, maybe I wonder how much money I could make off this. Who knows? But first, premarital situation. So get through high school, get through grade 11, keep my good grades, keep doing sports, track, cross country, and then let me put the maybe soccer, because that's something that we'll get to at some point. And then basketball is an if, like it's a strong if, like it's like, though basketball season is before soccer season, it's still an if. It's like a huge if. But that's it. Then I have to ask for advice, continue work, and start some business ideas, because I know I'm going to be a business person. So I have to start those business ideas, you know? Let me finish that off with the start business ideas and continue streaming. Let's add that at the end. Continue streaming. So we've gotten that settled out. So I need to. So for the goal that I'm going at for now, I have to keep my good grades, keep doing sports to my best ability, and maybe win some awards here. Like written awards there and like school wide for my school, and then outside. And then that kind of thing. These two are team games, and then so it's not as easy to do that because I have to be a good team player. Not something that is specifically challenging for me, but it's something that I have to consider. Get the dad advice, continue my work, start business formulating. Let me just say start from formulating, because I don't think I'm gonna start a business at the moment. And continue streaming, and then just continue learning. Like I need to continue learning about how to do this. So continue learning, because I want to be the best dad ever. It's a new resolve, and I love it. It's just keep learning about dads, like about good dads. I'm running out of time. I have like 9 minutes left, but keep good grades, keep doing sports, do all that stuff, and we'll get on to the next parts. And if you, it should be quite easy to know. No, it's not that easy to know. But you'll find out soon. I'll add an extra box. I'll add 2 extra boxes so you'll know exactly what this could be. But I won't tell you exactly what it could be at the moment. So, if you want to continue, join me in this search to find what I want to do and figure out what I'm going to do throughout this time and continue my journey of discovery. It's been back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be streaming again. And I'm glad that I started off less weighty, just like, hello guys, we're gonna chill for a little bit before everybody comes in, but nobody's here, so we're just talking to ourselves. So, and I'm glad that I'm talking a bit more, so I'm not stuttering as much. One of my friends saw this, one of the first ones that I did when I came back, for like my first Exodus one, which I think that I've put on that Exodus thing on hold, though I am doing a writing thing on Exodus, and just on the first, up until they leave, up until they leave the they leave Egypt, yeah. Up until the Israelites leave Egypt. So that's around Passover, the end of the 10 plagues, that kind of thing. Because I wanted to see how the brilliance of God's messaging to Moses and then to the entirety of to the Egyptians as well, and how he conveys his presence and the goals that he has. Because Exodus is a cool book because it's not only, and that Exodus event is not only a thing that is to rescue the people, but also to establish God as God to the people of Israel. And the entirety of the Exodus story is just establishing that to the people of Israel and the people that will eventually lead to the salvation of the world through Jesus Christ. But it's been fun. I'll update you on that a few times, and I've started that journey. I'm just gonna finish reading that section of the Bible. That's what I'm set on that now. I'm gonna finish reading that, get all of the things that I need, get all the messages that I need, outline the essay. It's gonna be a formative essay, or I think, yeah, and then write it, and we'll publish it somewhere, or I'll read it here. Maybe I'll do that. But it's been fun. I'm not gonna do it this late. Do another stream this late again. I just had to do this, and my dad forced me, and he held me by my word because I have to do this, and I'm gonna do it earlier. I'm gonna set time and get this started and prepare a bit more. But it's been a fun experience. I'm glad that I was able to speak with you guys today and speak to myself mostly. But anyone else that wants to read this and do this and join me in my goal and my vision to do stuff, you'll see. We're gonna explore and drill and question and do all those things in the next couple of weeks.